knees buckled and dropped out. Yes, the crowd is shocked now. Rising to the top now. Reaching for the gold and the division is a lockdown. Ain't no stopping me now. And I'm screaming it loud. It's TKMMA and victory is inbound. The time to fight for your life.
Coming up next, we got Chris Buxie and Phil Patrick. So the tail of the tape on this featherweight bout, we have Phil Patrick, who's the older fighter, the shorter fighter, and unbelievably with the longest reach. So he's two inches over Chris Buxie. But I mean, Chris Buxie looks like the long, leggier, taller fighter. So quite strange that. We'll see how he works with the range.
My name's Phil Patrick. I'm fighting from McLeod Academy at Aylesbury, and I currently have a 2-0 semi-pro record. Well, training's been going well. I generally try and train all year round and stuff like that, so I generally don't try and step it up closer to a fight or anything like that. I try and sort of stay around fight weight and train all through the year, just for the love of martial arts really. Been doing some Brazilian Jiu-jitsu training, obviously mixed martial arts and karate, and sort of put that together to give myself a game. And I'm aware that my opponent beat his last opponent through dominating with wrestling skills, so I'm hoping that if I was to get put on my back, I can kind of handle that a little bit better than his last opponent and maybe shock him and put him on his back and maybe not even get taken down at all. So it's going to be interesting. So I'm happy to go anywhere, but at the same time, you know, sort of got a bit of a game plan now and what I want to achieve. But I'm happy for that to go wrong and sort of go into deep water and see where it takes us and perform anyway.
Cool, name's Chris Buxie, Chris Pikey Buxie, fighting out of Gods of War in Reading. Amateur is 3-0 and semi-pro is currently 1-0. The only footage I've seen of Phil Patrick so far is of one of his fights from last year. Seemed like he had a pretty solid ground game. Believe he may have some form of like taekwondo or kickboxing. But in general, at the stage that I am, it's more about like my performance and doing what I do best, put my pressure on. So, but it seems like a nice chap, and they're always good people when they're nice chaps. Cardio, I'm a beast. Yeah, pretty much. Obviously, with the guys in my camp, I've got great judo guys, jiu-jitsu guys, and we're famously known for our wrestling. But along with that, we've got like Mark Wade with his stand-up abilities and James Matthews. So just generally, I came in the sport 4 years ago like a sponge, not doing anything. So I've literally like picked up everything, like so just as I said, like a sponge. Sticking to my game plan, fighting with composure, but kind of always putting the pressure on, and again trying to show the true like meaning of mixed martial arts by playing the game in all areas and all aspects. But again, I still haven't yet got a knockout, so it would always be nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are just one fight away from a main event of the evening. But now, ready and geared up for the next bout, I give you two of the most brutal of warriors. Fighting in the blue corner, Phil Patrick! Fighting in the red corner, Chris Bucksey! Fighting in the blue corner, I introduce a fighter with a mixed martial arts background and a fighting record of 2 wins, no losses, weighing in at 145 pounds, 65 kilos, fighting out of McLeod Academy, Aylesbury, Phil Patrick! Fighting out of the red corner is the challenger. This man has a mixed martial arts background and a fighting record of 1 win, no losses, weighing in at 145 pounds, 65 kilos, fighting out of Gods of War, Chris Bucksey! Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Okay, here we are with what has become the co-main event for TKMMA-7. Phil Patrick, Chris Buxie, featherweight.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this, Kev. Phil Patrick's debut at TKMMA finished very quickly with a very slick submission.
Yeah, very good debut for Phil Patrick.
And Chris Buxie is no stranger to TKMMA as well. Oh!
They
That
both
was
landed.
a straight right from Phil, who dropped him to his
Really
knees.
seemed to wobble him. Chris Buxie pushing for the takedown and gets it.
Yeah,
Phil
Chris.
stuck up against the cage here. Probably again wants to move his head to the middle like we had in one of the earlier fights, but he's lifting his hip, looking for that arm.
Yeah, Chris is doing a good job of pushing Phil straight into the cage, crooking his neck, trying to make sure he doesn't have any hip movement.
Yeah, if Phil can get his head out from the cage, he's going to be able to move his hip a little bit better here. Head stuffed in like that is great for standing up, but not so good for moving your hips for submissions.
Looks like Phil's trying to push
Phil
on the
working
hips.
very hard here,
Driving
stepping
the
on the
cage.
hip. He's underhooked the leg. Obviously very confident with his guard game. Chris looking to posture up and land some punches here. A little bit of an old school can opener attack there, really holding the head in that kind of plumb position from guard top. Phil with an overhook here. Phil's got the overhook, controlling that far wrist by the looks of it. Looking for triangles and submissions from the bottom. Chris Buxie just happy keeping him stuffed up into the corner, but again, Phil steps on the hip, trying to make a good angle here. Needs to get his head off the fence to make some better movement with his hip.
Chris has been doing a great job of controlling this fight, Kev.
He's been able to keep him stuffed into the corner. Phil's been working to make space. These shots are landing from the top, but they don't look like they've got a load of zing on them, but they will be scoring, that's for sure.
There's not enough leverage. I don't think Phil's doing a good job of either controlling the head or trying to push on the hips, and which is bringing Chris back down. Having a quick look at the RGA stats that are coming up. Chris Buxie has outnumbered Phil Patrick's strikes. Phil, you know, I saw him land one, and so far
Now
Chris...
he's wrapped the guillotine here.
Oh! It's about a minute and a half left. As I was saying about the strikes, Kev, they've all been from Chris Buxie. You know, he scored the takedown. All the metrics are looking like he's had the substantial strikes.
Phil back up.
Back up. Crowd are going crazy for him.
Back into a clinch here. Chris leaning on the fence.
Yeah. Going for the power double.
Chris Buxie getting another takedown.
Phil needs to get his head off the cage. Chris is again dominating that control.
Yeah, same problem here. Phil has great hip movement usually, but at the moment where he is, he's stuck with his head against the fence, not able to move. This is going to be frustrating for him. Chris Buxie landing shots, some of them coming through a little bit harder now. It's going to be very frustrating for the guy on the bottom.
Very frustrating indeed. I mean, oh! He's having his arms planted, he's defending, but he's not returning.
Oh, and the ref stopped it.
10 seconds and it was almost done.
I think we've got 5 seconds left on the clock there. Obviously not going to be very happy with himself.
The big mouse under his right eye.
Yeah, taking a lot of damage from the guard bottom there. Not very happy with himself there.
I think, you know, Chris fought the right strategy for that fight.
I think the head being pinned into the cage like that, Phil not being able to move his hips.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner by way of technical knockout, Chris Bucksey!
Great sportsmanship from both fighters.
It's a total knockout. Put my fist in your face and your knees buckled and dropped out. Yes, the crowd is shocked now. Rising to the top now. Reaching for the gold and the division is on lockdown. Ain't no stopping me now. And I'm screaming it loud. It's TKMMA and victory is inbound. Go time.